Hello, my friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to episode 163 of Why Did I Buy This? This series started as a way to help crafters find unique ways to use the products that they have in their collections. It's also a great series for new crafters who are wondering what they need to get started. My name is Lindsay Mann. I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for almost 21 years. I love to craft, I love techniques, and I love to get to share them with you. So how are you doing? Please say hi as you tune in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, you can let me know that too. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Edmonton. It's a little cool, but not really. Like compared to a couple weeks ago where we were experiencing minus 40, it is looking pretty good. My friend Cindy is actually flying in from Hawaii on Monday, so I feel like the weather is manageable for my friend who loves the tropical weather. Hello, friends. Hi, Maria. Say hi when you just go ahead and add some comments in. I love to see you popping in. It always makes me feel better to know I'm not talking to myself, although it does happen on a regular basis. I taught a class last night for the city of Edmonton at the Much Art Conservatory. It was a Love is in the Air class. It was very fun. I can show you some of the projects today. But today we're talking about a fairly new product, like within the last year-ish or so. And I am really enjoying, especially one of the new ones that came out of our mini catalog. So while we have friends tuning in, as a reminder, with every $35 order that you place, you are going to receive a little mini maker kit in the mail from me. Just some projects for you to try at home. If your order reaches $60 here in Canada, you are also going to receive a celebration reward. Now, these exclusive rewards are available while supplies last. There are several to choose from: stamp sets, designer series paper, we've got some ribbon, we've got embellishments, we've got embossing folders. So there's a lot of really great choices. The sooner you order, the more likely you are to get the things that you like. Things are while supplies last. And that's for every $60 that you order. So if your order reaches $120, you're going to receive 2 items, or you can pick a level 2 item, which is bigger things. So it's usually like a stamp set and a die set, or a stamp set and an embossing folder. So it makes it really exciting to place orders at this time of year. The other thing to note is that if you are interested in getting the best deal possible, that is our demonstrator starter kit. And with the starter kit, you're going to receive $165 of product of your choice. And it really is your choice. You can pick anything you like. And until the end of February, you also get the Stampin' Glass Mat. Now, if you're unsure about the glass mat, go ahead back to episode 160 and you can see me using it. But I have been using it in my episodes since then because it is something I can't live without now. It's an $82 value that you're getting for free. If the glass mat's not your thing, you can pick up $41 extra. So it would be $206, and you only pay $135 for either one of those choices of starter kits. The beauty of our starter kit is there is no shipping and there's no GST charged on those products. So there's huge savings just by getting the demonstrator starter kit. I always say to my team that whatever reason you've joined Stampin' Up! Is the right reason. So even if you're thinking, oh, I just really want the glass mat and I really want a discount, that is the right reason. So you can head to my join page on my demonstrator website and just go ahead and fill in those items that you want. Okay, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna just grab my catalog really quick, because I want to be able to show you what we're playing with today. Let me do the awkward transition and you can see my hands and we are going to get started. Now is a great time to hit the share button. Sharing this video is a great compliment to me, and it means that your friends can watch alongside you. All right, just have to get the spacing correct here. Sorry. It's like you're on a boat. Okay, so today, last week we talked about the brayer. Today we're going to be talking about the hybrid embossing folders. Now these embossing folders are very exciting because not only do they emboss, not only do they die cut, they emboss and die cut together. What? Yeah, it's a pretty slick little system. It's very efficient. We have 2 different ones in our mini catalog at the moment. We also have a couple that are in our annual catalog. So let me go ahead and get started with one from our annual catalog. So you might even have this one in your collection already. So this one, let me pull in from that. This one is the Sweet Citrus collection. So the Sweet Citrus, you'll find in our annual catalog. And you can see that it has these great images for citrus fruit and some punny little expressions there. And here is what you can see is our hybrid embossing folder. So this here is an embossing folder. You can see that it has these raised images. When you run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, if you didn't use it with a die, you would get that image embossed on your paper. Now, this die has been designed to literally cookie cutter right inside that, so that when you run the paper through together, it embosses and cuts at the same time. I know, fabulous. So let me show you how we're going to play with this today. I watched a video that was done by Natalie White, who is one of the DDMs for Stampin' Up, and she did a thing with baby wipes that I was like, oh my gosh, right. So I'm playing with this technique a lot, mostly because it's just been so fun. So I'm bringing in some of our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So if you're searching for watercolor paper, start with the Fluid 100 and then you'll find it comes up much easier. This is 100% cotton. It's very thick. It's a 5x7 inch paper. And it is beautiful for techniques like this because it withstands moisture really well. Now I'm bringing in some good old-fashioned baby wipes. And it's funny, even though I don't have babies anymore, I buy baby wipes by the Costco load. And that is because I use them so much in crafting. Now I'm going to bring in Lemon Lime Twist. I mean, hello, it's got lime in the title, so we're gonna use that. And Lemon Lolly, both of them have citrus in the name. So let's start with our Lemon Lolly ink refill. Now you all know that the ink refills are designed to add ink back to your ink pads, but they are fabulous for adding techniques to your project. So we're just going to go ahead and on our watercolor paper, we're just going to apply that ink refill to the background. So see how it just fills that in. Now I did try this on basic white, and you can use just regular cardstock, but it does tend to get pilly really easily. So this is nice because that extra thick cotton does absorb the moisture. So now we're going to move on to our Lemon Lime Twist. I'll add a bit to the same baby wipe, and we're going to add some lemon lime to the background here. So just kind of through the center. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we can blend as much as we like, just like so, okay? So now we have this little watercolor piece of paper. Now you don't need to dry it. You can keep moving on to the next stage, which is always kind of handy when you're impatient like I am. Okay, we're bringing in now the stamp that coordinates with that embossing folder, and I'm going to use my Lemon Lime ink pad. So just with my ink, my stamp upside down, we'll ink that up and stamp that on here. Just like that. So next, we'll bring in this embossing folder. So what we can do is line this up. And you're gonna have to do it more like on an angle to make it match up. So this is going to go here. And when you shut the door, you can kind of line this up through the window. There might be an easier way to do this, but this is just how I've been doing it. So just like that, okay. And then you're gonna run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And here's what comes out. So we have these lovely embossed images with the stamped pieces to it. Now I wanted to add a little bit more texture. So I'm going to use a sponge dauber, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of my lemon lime, and I'm just going to go over top of that part that would have the flesh of the citrus fruit. I can pick up from my glass mat So I'm not wasting any ink. And I get a little more control as to how it's applied, which I love. Okay, like so. So next, I'm going to use my coordinating stamps, and I'm going to add a few little flowers here in the corner, just like so. And we'll bring in Memento, and we're going to stamp Thanks a Bunch. I like that greeting. I think it's clean and I love the size of it. So now we're going to bring in, I'm going to use these 3 pieces. This one I'll save for a different project. So these 3. So you'll notice that when I cut this particular one, I kind of cut off the edge, but it's not a big deal because the way I'm layering it, it's going to be fine. So I will use my dimensionals and add those to the back. I'm using up my little dimensionals right now. I'm waiting for an order to come. Then we are going to peel those backings off. And we'll stick that right here. Now, I'm going to do this on an angle like that because we want to be able to slide in this, this lemon right here, or this lime. Okay, that's going to go here. And then this one is going to go here like that. So you can see it covers up any error. Now let me go ahead and skip to the end because I'll just show you the finished card. So this is what it looks like. Now I've added these little flowers, and these little flowers are cut out with another one of our hybrid embossing folders. So here you can see all the little cutie patooties. This one we'll talk about next, but I just love using paper as an embellishment. It is, and there's all sorts in our next hybrid folder that you can really use to embellish your projects. So I've added some pearls to the bottom, and then this embossing folder in the background is from our celebration reward. So this is part of a level 2 reward, and I just love how delicate that embossing folder is. It can really go with basically any themed project, but I love how pretty that looks with the pearls. So something you can look forward to when you place a $120 order is to choose a level 2 reward. So that is project number 1. If you love this project, give me some hearts so that I know. Okay, moving on to the next project. So this one was using that embossing folder that I was saying I just love, love, love. So this is part of the mini catalog, and now I've forgotten what the name of it is, so let's quickly look it up. So page 18, these are on, if you have your catalog at home and you're looking. So this one is called the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. Now this embossing folder, look at how much use I've gotten out of it. I've only owned this embossing folder for a month, and I can't even tell you how many times I've used it. Like, it is just so awesome. So let me show you how we're going to create this card. So we're pulling in that same technique with the Fluid 100 embossing, watercolor paper. I'm just going to wipe off my glass mat. And this time we're going to bring in some very beautiful colors. I've got Soft Seafoam, Balmy Blue, and Calypso Coral. So I will grab another baby wipe because you can see why I buy them in bulk. And this time, we're going to create a spectrum. So I will start with my Balmy Blue. And we'll just kind of use my finger like the coloring utensil. So that's such a pretty blue. So we're going to go just like that. And then we're going to add Soft Seafoam. This is one of those projects that definitely gives you inky thumbs. If you're looking for me on Instagram or here on Facebook, just look for Inky Thumbs. That's my social media name. You can find me on YouTube as well if you search my name. And then Calypso Coral, just to add a fun punch of color. like that. Okay, so there we have our watercolored spectrum. So let's bring in our hybrid folder, and there's two sides to it. One has raised detail, and the other is for the raised part to sink into. So it's like a puzzle. Now you want to add any ink to add detail to it on the raised side. So this is where that Stampin' Brayer comes in handy again. So I'm bringing in basic gray. I wanted some outline, but nothing too dark. And I'm going to roll my brayer into that. Make sure it's all inked up. And I need the word hello. So I'm going to go over top in all the directions just to make sure I've got it covered. Okay. And now I'm going to bring in the coordinating dies. And here you can see is the matching set of words. So remember I was saying you've got all these little details to add paper embellishments. It's flowers, you've got some leaves, here's some little clouds, like little tiny clouds. There's a rainbow, some stars, some hearts. So yeah, really cute stuff. So now you're going to set your paper just like so. Shut the door. You're going to run that through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and what comes out is this. So here you can see is the colors, and that gray just fills in to give a little bit of shadow. So it really helps for the lettering to show up, especially on the things like the L's. So really beautiful. I mean, this is such a great folder. If it's not in your collection, my friends, you need it. Okay. Next, I'm going to bring in dies from the Bright Sky dies. So this one, they look like this. Now, there is a set of Designer Series paper in our Celebration Rewards that coordinates with this suite. So if you like the card that I'm doing and you decide you want to purchase this bundle, make sure you add that paper so you've got the coordinating stuff. So I've got my two die cut clouds, and now I'm going to bring in my Lost Lagoon and Pool Party. I'm going to use my glass mat as a let me clean that off, as a background, and I'm going to just add a little bit of Pool Party, and then I am going to add a little bit of Lost Lagoon. Like that. Next, I'm going to bring in my alcohol spray, and I'm just going to spray the mat. So we're using that as a palette. So now I can bring in my clouds, and you can see the side you want to use because the stitching is very clean on the side that's intended to be up. So now we're just going to set that onto my glass mat, and when we pull it up, we get this beautiful cloud technique. We'll set that aside to dry, and again I'm going to bring in the little cloud, and we're going to do the same thing, Pool Party and Lost Lagoon. And if you're not happy with how it looks, you can go ahead and just dip it in a little more. It's fun because they're all a similar feel, but they all look different. It's kind of an organic style. So let me get rid of this. And now I'll bring in the dried ones. So here's some that I made earlier and set aside to dry. How pretty is that? Okay, so next I'm going to bring in my background for my paper, and we're going to use Lemon Lolly to make a sun. So I'll ink that up. And we're going to stamp that like so. And then I'll use a blending brush, tap on our mat, and then go over top to just add that beautiful glowy background to our sun. This glass mat for blending has been life-changing. I can't tell you how much I love blending off of the glass mat. It has truly been, I mean, I loved blending anyway, but now to have it be so clean, it's just, Yeah, it's changed. It's changed things, my friend. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the raindrops now, and we'll add those here. And then we'll add the greeting. Brighter skies are on their way. So that's gonna go here, like that. So let's do our little clouds. So those are gonna go here, and let me show you what the finished project looks like. So there you can see our hybrid embossed folder with its little gray detailing. I've added a heart from the Be Mine Builder Punch, and you can see our little embellishments there. Cute, right? Yeah, it's just such a happy little card. So you can see why this particular Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder has been high on my use list. Okay, we're gonna move on to the PYP card. So for this one, I'm using one from our mini catalog, and this one is called the Adoring Hearts. Now, the Adoring Hearts is part of a Valentine's collection, but really it could be used for a wedding or for birthdays. It's got this really nice, delicate look to it, but it's the hybrid embossing folder that I'm really gonna focus on today. So, again, we're gonna play with that technique because I've been having way too much fun. So I'm bringing in a clean baby wipe, and I'm using some pastel colors. We've got Highland Heather, Fresh Freesia, and Bubble Bath. So let's start with our Bubble Bath. Adding that to our little baby wipe there. And now we're going to just drag it across. We're going to be more deliberate with how we're placing color. So you can see that pink there. Now we're going to move on to Highland Heather, which is the darker of the two purples. This one we're going to pull across. Sorry. And then we have Fresh Freesia. I'm not much of a purple fan. I know it's quite a popular color, but it has its place. Okay. So there you go. We've got this fun, streaky little technique. So let me now bring in our embossing folder. And so the thing that's interesting about this Adoring Hearts embossing folder is you have two ways that you can use it. There is here's what the hybrid part of the die looks like. So the hearts can either sit on this side or on this side. So this side, the detail of the heart is what's popped up, and the outline of the heart is what's sunk in. And on this side, it's the opposite. So we are going to do the detailed part, or the outline part, sorry. So I'm going to bring back in my brayer, and let's just clean off the gray. You can also run this under the sink, but you know, that would make for a long video. So we're just gonna be quick about it. So I'm bringing in my Fresh Freesia. Nope, Highland Heather, sorry, the darker one. And we're going to roll that into the ink pad. So now I'm going to roll that along. And you can see that detailed part in the center is what's taking the color. So now I am going to set my cookie cutter inside. And then this is going to go on top like that. Now, you'll notice that the bottom is sticking out. I am trying to make the most of my watercolor paper with this. So because it's 7 inches long, I'm cutting it in half at 3.5, and then it's not quite reaching it. Don't worry about that. It's going to have a solution. So I'm going to run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, And here's what comes out. So we have the inside of the hearts has had the detail brought to life. And there you can see are the ones that didn't quite make it. So here's what it looks like when you color the opposite side. So see what I mean? So here's two of the same. The inside detail is what has been shadowed as opposed to the detail. So because I created that beautiful paper, I wanted to see this part of it. Okay, so on this background piece, we are going to use these three. Oh, I wanted to show you how I did this. Okay, there we go. We want to create a little bit of a splatter effect in the background. So I have my my blends, and I'm going to use the lid as a little tool to create that splatter. Here we've got Bubble Bath, same thing. Subtle, but that's okay. Great cards have lots of detail. So in order to layer these on, I'm going to add my dimensionals. I'm going to start with the top one. So I found it useful to use the grid on my glass mat here. And then, so I can see, so this one, let's use the darker line just so it's easier for you to see. This darker line here is where I'm lining it up. So same thing with my bottom one. Hi, Jamie. So this one here, we're going to use that dark line and line up the bottom piece. And then we have this one that didn't quite make it through all the way, but we're not gonna let her go to waste. So put the dimensionals on, and then that is going to line up here. Now, this is also cut with that same die set, and this little banner has a stamp that coordinates with it. Now is when I have to look in my pile and see where it went. Oh, it's right beside me. Never mind. So this one, we're going to stamp in black just for you. And then on the back, we'll add our little dimensionals. And then you can stick that on like that, and nobody knows. They're not gonna know. No, nobody knows that you've got the little banner hiding the bottom of the heart that was cut off, and you can make the best use out of your watercolor paper. Okay, we have these lovely purple fine shimmer gems that of course coordinate so beautifully with this purple card. So let me go ahead and skip to the finale. So here you can see our finished card. I've brought in some glitter paper. Here you can see is our banner. There's the gems. And then I use that embossing folder without cutting to create the background there too. So what do you think? Hybrid embossing folders? Yay or nay? What do you think? I'm going to show you the projects one more time. So here we've got our adoring hearts. Here we've got thoughtful moments, and we have the citrus, sweet citrus. There we go. So if you're thinking to yourself, Lindsay, why don't I have these products? Head to my online store and you can find them there. Now, I promised to show you the cards that we made at my City of Edmonton class last night. So this one here uses my thoughtful moments embossing folder. I told you I can't get enough of it. And this is one of our celebration reward stamp sets. This was doing a technique with our alcohol and glass mat. So again, love. So you can see that's a really, really cute punny Valentine. This one here uses one of our Valentine die collections along with the coordinating stamps. What I love about this is we have the flag can move so that you can let people know that there's mail. This one was using I believe this is a Celebration Rewards stamp set, and we did a collage style technique. And then finally, we used that same technique here from the clouds to be able to try another type of Valentine. So I have another City of Edmonton class coming up at the Much Art, February 29th. It is leap into card making because, of course, very punny. It is on the leap year and we don't get those very often, so I wanted to take advantage of that. There are a few spots left, but the class does tend to sell out. Head to movelearnplay.edmonton.ca to be able to register for that class. All registration is done through the City of Edmonton, not through me. Remember, if you want Celebration Rewards, it's better to do it earlier than later just because things are while supplies last. Thank you so much, my friends, for following along. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope you get to craft. Bye for now.